I'm joining you once again, briefly, on this Friday afternoon, where I am in northern Israel. And yeah, hope you're all having a good Friday. To those of you who are not having a good Friday, I hope things get better for you ASAP. And yeah, I don't know, it's not easy times for everybody. It never is easy times for everybody, right? There's always people in the world suffering, and well, I wear black, and I don't wear bright colors on my back, like a song by Johnny Cash, right? So remember the ones who are having a hard time. And so I want to talk to you guys about what's going on with the U.S. government proposal recently made by incoming President Trump. So it's not yet officially a government proposal. It's a kind of an announcement made by the president-elect. Who knows if it'll happen once he's actually president? But the announcement, made that he, not only does he want to make crypto tax-free, but before he was actually the president-elect for a second term, if you remember over the summer of 2024, at the Bitcoin 2024 conference, he made a big announcement saying that he wanted the U.S. government to acquire more than 1 million BTC for its treasury reserves. And Michael Saylor announced that he thought the U.S. could be one of several governments to own somewhere between 3 and 5 million Bitcoins each. Which, if you just do the math, is not possible. Okay, so first of all, to the millions question, and why it's already very bad for Bitcoin if the U.S. government already owns 1 million Bitcoins. The U.S. already has around 400,000 Bitcoin. Now, of course, a lot of that they've acquired through seizures, pretty much all of it. Let's just say most of it has been acquired through seizures. And in the U.S., unlike in other countries like in Germany, they don't have laws that the government necessarily needs to sell off all that Bitcoin. There's some cases where they do, like with Silk Road, they had to sell off a bunch, but they don't have to sell off in all cases. And that's why they have so many. The second thing is it's bad because if the U.S. were doing more than double its existing holdings, that means that they would have, 4% or something of all of the available Bitcoin, right? Which is a very significant number for any government to hold. And it's far more than China holds at the moment, technically, even though China, again, through all of its various influences, through its companies and laws and business, technically you could argue they have more than the U.S., but officially the Chinese government has less than the U.S. government by 1 or 200,000 BTC, right? Still, it's a lot. So if the government of China already holds 200,000 Bitcoin, that's already 1% of all the Bitcoin. That's a lot. And just like Michael Saylor has more than 1%, he has more. Like his company has more than 250,000 Bitcoin now, so they already have more than 1% of all the Bitcoin there can ever be. It's bad for Bitcoin because when so few holders hold all of the asset, right? It's just like the economic theory of any asset, right? Let's say you're selling diamonds, okay? And you're the only person in the world, or there's 10 people in the world who have diamonds. And they have all of them. And there's no distribution in the marketplace. Some people have scraps of diamonds here and there, but there's no real distribution. Then who's going to want a diamond? Right? If the holders are then the ones who set the price and they set it at a ridiculously high price, anybody else would be like, yeah, I don't need that to live, obviously, because I've been living my life so far without it. I clearly don't need it. Thanks, keep that to yourself. I'm not buying that. So that wouldn't be good for the holders. And it certainly wouldn't be good for, whether you're a big holder or a regular holder, like a regular retail holder. And regular retail holders, anyway, hold less than 1% of all the Bitcoin. Right? Less than 1% of Bitcoin is held by wallets that have less than 100 Bitcoins in it. That's it. So it's nothing. And most people obviously don't have a whole Bitcoin. They just have some Satoshis here and there laying around. Right? So what does that mean? What it means is the distribution of Bitcoin has already been destroyed. It's not going to get any better. Certainly not if it gets more centralized. And certainly not if something like 4 or 5 state actors were to actually acquire 3 to 5 million each. Right? If just the US alone were to acquire 1 million, it would already do tremendously bad things to the distribution, because you'd have even less in the hands of retail. And you'd have, a government which is antithetical to the entire ethos of crypto. You'd have the biggest government on earth having a sizable portion of the entire market. It's ridiculous. And if 4 or 5 actors, governments like Saudi Arabia, the US, China, and whoever else, Dubai, were to buy between 3 and 5 million each, there wouldn't be any crypto. First of all, they'd have to buy them from all the whales who own them, who aren't going to sell them to them because they see the future value of it. But let's say somehow they could wrest control of between 12 and 20 million Bitcoin. Well, guess what? First of all, they can't get 20 because there's not 20 available in the market, because anywhere from 3 to 5 million have been lost. So there's not 20 million available, even if every single one of them that is available in circulation was made, was available for purchase. Okay? So it's not possible. It's a ludicrous and ridiculous and silly thing that Michael Saylor even proposed. Like, the guy went to MIT. You'd figure he'd know something about math, how to do, addition. Apparently not, right? It really, of course he does. He's just trolling people, right? Why? Because he wants to drum up interest and make it seem like he's some great big visionary. He's not a great big visionary. The boy he's a Johnny-come-lately to the party. He's not an internet pioneer when it comes to crypto. He's not a pioneer or visionary. He's late to the party. He just happens to have a lot of money, so he bought his way and he bought his influence, just like Elon Musk did. Right? These guys are not innovators. They just glom onto things they jump on the bandwagon, they throw their money around, and they think that makes them savants. No, they're not savants. They're just wealthy dudes who are able to throw a lot of money at something and buy a lot of influence really quickly and buy credibility really quickly, just by saying the same buzzwords that every other internet person has been aware of, every other Bitcoiner has been aware of for, well over a decade before these guys ever said a positive thing about it, right? Remember, Michael Saylor used to trash Bitcoin, right? Now he's like, oh, he's the greatest cheerleader ever. No, he's not the greatest cheerleader ever. He's pumping his own bags, okay? And he's having you, the general audience, do it for him every time you like one of his stupid memes featuring him as some kind of Bitcoin savior. Not a Bitcoin savior. He's destroying the entire thing. Okay? I don't care. He's a perma bull. No, he's not a perma bull. He's a Michael Saylor bull who wants to get rich, dumping all over you and buying back when you freak out and prices go low. Right? He's going to keep doing that. And every time he spends another billion buying more Bitcoin, right, what does he do that for? Because he knows it's worth it. He's going to make money on it. He's going to sell derivatives. He's going to sell Bitcoin-related custodial products when he opens up his bank. The guy's, he's ripping off the market. Okay? He's taking credit for a lot of work other people have done, pretending to be a cheerleader and a visionary. He's not any of those things. I'm not saying that to diss him. I'm just pointing out facts. I'm just asking questions. as some people say. But that's it. Happy days.